I know some of you are looking at this character. You might not even know who the hell we're even talking about today. We're talking about Lyn, a character that didn't quite make the cut in Project M's final character roster, but definitely got very close. Now, who is Lyn? Some of you people are probably looking at this character and have no idea who I'm talking about. Why does this character have something to do with Project M? Well, let me jog your memory a little bit. Lyn is actually a very important character in the Fire Emblem franchise. Lyn, well, she actually is a Lord, which means she fits the same niche as other Lord characters in the Fire Emblem series like Marth, Ike, and even the most worthless character in Fire Emblem 6, Roy. I mean, he's a Lord as well. Lords are the main protagonists in the series, and Lyn was the first playable character in Fire Emblem 7, which was straight up just called Fire Emblem in the West, as it was the very first Fire Emblem game to be released in Western countries. Lyn, in a way, was people's first reaction to Fire Emblem as a franchise. The only reason the Fire Emblem games were really released in the West was because of Marth and Roy's success in Super Smash Bros. Melee, which inspired Intelligent Systems and Nintendo to release the games in Western countries, as for many years Fire Emblem was simply a Japan-exclusive franchise. Now I know what you're thinking, why on earth is Lyn an important character in Fire Emblem? Well, she's one of the 3 main Lord characters that you can take control of in Fire Emblem 7, others being Hector and Roy's dad, who is named Eliwood. Lyn was the Western Fire Emblem fanbase's first look at Fire Emblem as a franchise, and thus she was very important, especially to people who have fond memories playing Fire Emblem on the GBA. As time went on, Lyn was sort of a forgotten character in Fire Emblem in a way. She did have a small cameo here and there, and did appear in some games here and there, but her story never truly got fleshed out beyond Fire Emblem 7, and she was still a very prominent character in the game, and especially for fans of Fire Emblem as a franchise. So, moving on to Project M, why did they choose Lyn as a potential character for the game? Well, when making Project M, the developers wanted to add brand new characters to the mod without replacing an existing character on the roster. Thus, they created a revolutionary code at the time, which is now outdated in 2021, but in 2013 this code was made sure not to leak out in the public because that's how revolutionary this coding was in the Brawl modding scene. So Project M figured out how to add brand new characters without replacing existing characters, so they added in Mewtwo and Roy respectively in Project M 3.0. Now, behind the scenes, they were actually working on developing brand new characters that have yet to be in a Smash Bros. Game at the time. Thus, the first 2 characters they created under this new mindset of creating new characters was actually Knuckles and Lyn. These 2 characters never got finished completely or added into Project M as an official update, but however, for Knuckles, he did finally get finished in Project Plus, which is sort of a spiritual successor to Project M. That made people wonder about other characters that were in development at the time, like for example Isaac from Golden Sun and even Sammy from Advance Wars were planned to be in Project M as well. However, Lyn, behind Knuckles, was the closest to being completed. Lyn was never released officially in Project M or Project Plus to this day. However, there was leaked footage of Knuckles and Lyn being used in Project M dev builds. These builds never saw the light of day at the time, but this was our only look at Knuckles and Lyn back in the day. After Project M stated they were going to cease development of the mod, a Project M dev build leaked on 4chan that had unfinished but playable versions of Knuckles, Isaac, Lyn, and Sammy. With Knuckles being completed in Project Plus as a labor of love, people are unsure if Lyn will ever be completed one day. But I'm just going to go off of a hunch that probably the chances are going to be pretty close to none. However, that hasn't stopped other mod teams and other creators to finish their own interpretations of Lyn as a character. The most complete version of Lyn currently out there right now is most likely the Project M Remix version of the character, but this isn't an official completed version by the Project M devs themselves. This is completed by the PM Remix team, more of a casual mod. Lyn is a fast-falling sword character, and she even has a bow and arrow in her moveset. For some reason she has electricity in, but I don't really know if it fits her character. It is cool, but I don't know why she has electricity in the earliest versions of the character. And I checked her affinity in Fire Emblem and it's actually wind, so it doesn't have anything to do with that. The Project M remix version of the character doesn't have the electricity effects though. Also, in early leaked versions of the character, she has a lot of broken moves, as in they straight up don't work, as if they weren't even finished. Like for example, her down B and her arrows are kind of busted, as they do a crazy amount of knockback in the earliest versions of the character. But again, these leaked characters are most likely not balanced at all because they obviously weren't finished. The PM remix version of the character is a lot more balanced and is pretty much finished in the moveset department, so I will use that for the demonstration. Lyn is actually taking clear inspiration from the Lyn Mugen mod of the character in the game Mugen, as they have a very apparent similar moves and animations. She has a bow and arrow even in that game, and the voice actor is actually exactly the same. So they use this mod of Lyn as clear direction for the character. Lyn can be described as a very agile character that doesn't have the strongest KO power, but she has great combo capabilities and speed. Lyn is also the only character in the cast to have different versions of certain attacks depending on the way you tilt the move. If you mash the attack, you get a completely different animation, a different attack, based on what you do when using that move. Like for example, her down smash has 2 different versions, and her up tilt has 2 different versions of that attack as well. Her neutral air is completely different in the PM dev build compared to Project M Remix, and her down B has actually been made into a counter. Judging by some of the PM concept art for Lyn, I don't know if that's the exact interpretation they were going for with the character, but I thought it should be noted as a difference between the dev build and the PM remix version. Her smash attacks seem like they're pretty much standard smash attacks as stated earlier. Her down smash has 2 different variants depending on the way you tilt the attack. The second variant can also reach behind her, and her up smash seems to be like a decent smash attack for catching platform tech chases and etc. Her forward smash is easily the strongest smash attack in her kit, but it does have the most amount of lag to compensate due to its strength. Her aerials are also very good as they mesh really well with her combo heavy moveset, as they link together with her tilts and her grab. Her down air does have a spike hitbox to it when hit correctly, and her back air specifically is one of her best kill moves in her moveset. And there are also her tilts. As stated earlier, her up tilt has 2 different versions to the move when tapping once and tapping twice. And her grabs are pretty standard as they are meant to link together with her aerials very smoothly. Her specials, her neutral air is the bow and arrow, which is in PM Remix, is specifically nerfed compared to the leaked dev build version of the move, which was really broken as it was really powerful. They're pretty similar to Link's bow and arrow, where you hold down the move and it does more damage and knockback. But however, if you shoot the arrow while in the air, you can snipe people off stage and pick them from afar. Her side special has been made into an attack where you dash through your opponents, kind of similar to Lucario's side special. You can also get a hurt box if you tap the move, where going through a character you can do other specific actions and cancel the side special into something else. Also, it is a decent recovery option horizontally, where it clearly is meant to kind of fix her weakness with having a pretty lackluster vertical recovery. Also, with some experimentation, it actually goes really far vertically, so this can actually add to her combo game and her already pretty fast kit. Now, with her down B, I believe there was originally intent to make this move have more depth to it, but as stated earlier, it's incomplete in the leaked dev build. So PM Remix made the move into a counter, and it's actually kind of cool. It's clearly referencing some animation in Fire Emblem 7. Her up B is a pretty standard recovery move that is really great vertically, but the move does lack a lot of vertical distance, which I would say is probably one of her bigger weaknesses. Outside of her side special, she does have trouble moving vertically when recovering, in my opinion at least. She is a fast faller, so when she's off stage, she's probably going to fall like a rock. Also, her KO power is pretty lackluster. Some of the heavier characters in the game can be really hard to take out because of their weight. So I feel like one of her biggest weaknesses, if she was an official character, is she definitely lacks a lot of KO power in her moveset, but she does make up for it with her speed and agility. It's clear a large strength with Lyn as a character is her mobility, and that's very apparent with her moveset and overall combo game. It's also likely true that Lyn was chosen because she's a very important character to Western Fire Emblem fans especially, as she is the very first character you take control of when you play Fire Emblem 7 for the first time, which is the first game that ever came to the United States and Western countries. And Lyn is not your standard boring Marth clone. The bow and arrow actually adds some depth to her moveset, especially compared to other Fire Emblem characters that are in the cast. However, the push to bring her back in a completely finished form in Project Plus is pretty much non-existent, as most people would probably be against adding new characters to the game at this point. And people are unsure if the original developers behind Lyn would even want to finish the character in the first place. But there are still people out there willing to bring their own interpretations to the character for their own offshoot Project M mods that don't actually change the PM experience. Will she be completed ever? Probably not. But I won't lie, the idea of Lyn being complete in Project Plus would actually be a pretty cool idea, not gonna lie. But I understand that some people just want to keep her out on the cutting room floor. Thank you guys for watching this video. I didn't think I was going to put out a video this week on top of the PM tier list, but I got really inspired and I wanted to put out this video for Lyn for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you guys subscribe for more content, and make sure you like the video and comment if you're interested. And also, I have a Patreon down below. Shoutouts to my Patreons. Really appreciate you guys for really helping me out. So if you're interested to giving back to the channel, there is a Patreon. And also, you guys have asked me for a Discord. I decided to add a Discord for a Patreon, so if you want to join the Patreon, you can actually join the Discord and you can talk to me. And you can also get some exclusive content early, specifically these type of videos. And if you guys really like the content, then you might be interested in that. So I appreciate you guys for watching and just being fans of my content. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe and take care.